Okay. So we have 8 of them. Now, you can see normally in the Noble Eightfold Path, we call it the Sila lead to Samadhi, lead to Panya, right? Based on morality, when you have good morality, your mind at peace. So you can get good concentration. And based on good concentration, your mind can focus well. Then you get wisdom. All right. So Sila Samadhi Panya. Now the problem is when we look at the Noble Eightfold Path, the arrangement is not Sila Samadhi Panya. It starts with the Panya, Sila, and Samadhi. Okay. So Noble Eightfold Path is arranged according to another way. So this is the we call it. So this we call it theory, all right? Theory is like Sila Samadhi Panya. Sorry, okay, this is a practice. Practice is Sila Samadhi Panya, but in the Noble Eightfold Path is written as, you can see we start with Panya first. After you Panya, then you talk about Sila. Then after that, you talk about the Samadhi. Okay. So that's the difference between the theory and practice. And why is it the difference? Is because we need to have some theory first. Sometimes I see people, a lot of people, they want to go straight to meditation, all right? They want to go for Samadhi, right? And like my teacher, he always say, when people start to meditate, they always have the idea, oh, I want to get lots of Samadhi. I want to have very good concentration. But they forget to do the fundamental. Need to get 5 precepts very well. Or in meditation center, you need to get 8 precepts. So based on 8 precepts, then you will get good Samadhi. Because when you have the good precepts, your mind is at ease. Based on your mind at ease, or you have joy and happiness, then you can get concentration or focus the mind. Then when your mind is focused, you can see the truth nature of things, like anicca, dukkha, anatta. That's how you can get wisdom. But the problem in theory, we start with the panya, like right view and right thought. We start with the panya first. Then after sila and samadhi. So why is it? Now the theory is you need to have some knowledge like karma, karma and result. If you don't have karma and result, you will not believe or doing good. Because you believe in karma and result, you want to do good. You want to practice meditation. You believe that by doing good, by practice hard, you will be freed from samsara. So that's why you need some panya, even before you do the practice. Okay? So how are we going to combine? Reality is panya, right view, right understanding, right thought, then followed by sila samadhi. But practice should be sila samadhi panya. Do you see that the difference here? Right? You all see, right? Okay. Now, how should we combine? So we are going to combine like this, all right? So I think for most people, we should do like this, all right? So we should combine. Combine means you will go for knowledge first. Remember, when we say panya, it means wisdom. But how can you get the wisdom? You cannot get wisdom. So you should get wisdom. You should get more knowledge. Then you practice morality. Then you go for your concentration. Then finally you get to your wisdom. All right? Do you see the difference between these three? All right, simple knowledge. Even before you get your wisdom, you should have some knowledge about Buddhism. What kind of knowledge? Four Noble Truths, right? So you must know Four Noble Truths. Noble Truth. You should know karma. You should know like dependent origination. Okay. You should know about maybe anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay. right? All this some theory. After you have the knowledge, then you practice sila samadhi panya. Then finally you get the real wisdom. So at first you are having the panya, but this panya is we kind of like we call it book knowledge, all right? Book knowledge. Any question about this part? Any questions? Because the word panya is translated as wisdom or knowledge, right? So if we are going to combine like this, so what at first we will have is also panya. Then you will have sila. Then you will have samadhi. Then you go back to panya. But the difference between the panya here is a book knowledge. Okay, so here is actually kind of like book knowledge. And the panya at the end is the real knowledge. Real knowledge. Okay. So that's the difference between theory and practice. Theory is we start with the panya first. All right. Any question? I continue. We just assuming you understand what I say. All right. Okay. Now, so we start with the panya. That is a theory first, but this panya is right view, right thought, then speech, action, livelihood, then the effort, mindfulness, and concentration. Now, concentration here is refer to jhana. If you can get jhana, if you cannot get jhana, you should get some neighborhood to jhana. We call access concentration. Okay. All right. Now we talk about new topic now. Okay. Today is a little bit more text, but I think it's good to go for fundamental now. So we go for paramita. Okay. Next student to read. Uh, Jenny Tan.
Yes, Venerable. Paramita, Yasodhara, the wife of Siddhartha Gautama, the future Buddha, fulfilled her paramis, spiritual perfections across countless lifetimes by standing alongside the Bodhisattva as his devoted partner. In their final life together, she perfected virtues like renunciation, morality, and patience by enduring years of separation, mirroring the Buddha's austere lifestyle, and eventually achieving enlightenment as one of his greatest female disciples. Building on the foundational teachings of the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, the 10 Paramis or Paramita are the perfections or noble qualities that a bodhisattva, a being on the path to Buddhahood, cultivates over countless lifetimes. In Theravadan Buddhism, they are considered the practical, daily virtues that support and deepen the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path, particularly right intention, right action, and right effort. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. So Yasodhara, not only Yasodhara. So previously, if we study many arahants like Saiputra or Moggallana, they all have fulfilled many parami. But because the story is about Yasodhara, so from the previous time as a Sumita, she saw the ascetic Sumedha. Then from there, she fulfilled her paramis for many countless lifetime. So she worked together with Bodhisattva. Sometimes they get married. Sometimes if he's a ascetic, she just supported him. And finally, at the final life of Yasodhara princess. So when Buddha go forth, Buddha wear simple robes. Buddha eat simply. She in her palace, she also follow the same behavior. So when she get to know the Buddha sleeping on the floor, so she also sleep on the floor. She know the Buddha only practice like maybe very simple meal. She also follow, even though she was in a palace. Okay, that's how she mirroring the Buddha's austere lifestyle. Okay, so that's why she fulfill renunciation more than patience. Now, when we say the paramita, so we call it perfection, noble qualities fulfilled by bodhisattva. Any bodhisattva, they have to fulfill it. And also not just for bodhisattva, anybody. So even like us, we can say we are fulfilling our parami. Okay, when people scold you, you say, oh, I fulfill my patient parami, right? So for example, you want to do something, you say, I fulfill my aditana parami. So we will look at 10 types of parami later. So anytime when we do anything, we can say we are fulfilling our parami. Now, parami actually had 3 types. Okay, next person. Ko Hin Sik. You can read, yeah.
Three kinds of paramis. In Buddhism, the paramis or paramitas are the 10 transcendent perfections or virtuous qualities cultivated over many lifetimes to achieve enlightenment in the Theravada tradition. These 10 perfections are divided into 3 kinds based on the level of sacrifice and dedication applied. Parami, ordinary perfection. The base level of practice where a practitioner gives up external material possessions such as wealth, home, or family for the benefit of others. Upaparami, superior perfection, an advanced level of practice where one goes beyond external gifts by sacrificing parts of their own body or enduring extreme hardship for the sake of others' well-being. Paramatha Parami, ultimate perfection, the supreme level of practice, characterized by the ultimate sacrifice, where the practitioner is willing to give up their very life out of absolute compassion and devotion to the path.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now, Parami, we have chant just now. So go back to the chanting just now. So Parami, sometimes we chant, it's a 10, but we chant 3. Like Patama Dana Parami. So this is the first normal Parami. Then Upa Parami. Okay, second one. Then the third one called Paramata Parami. So each of the 10 Parami we can practice in 3 ways. Okay, so Parami, Upa Parami, Paramata Parami. So Dutiyam Sila Parami, Sila Upa Parami, Sila Paramata Parami. Right. Now, so we take it Parami as we call it perfection or virtuous qualities had to cultivate over many lifetimes, right? For us to achieve enlightenment. So all these are keywords. All right. So in Theravada tradition is 10. In Mahayana, I think it's 6. So the first one we call it ordinary. Just give out external thing. Very easy. For example, you go to temple, you offer your food or offer money or you offer charity, help the charity, offer money and so on. So give out external things. So it's very easy to do. That's why it's called ordinary. Now, Upaparami is much more difficult. You have to sacrifice your body. For example, if your kidney is okay, you want to give your kidney to another person, so parts of the kidney. Or in some of the story where the Buddha, uh, as a bodhisattva, he offer the eyes, physical eyes that still, where he's still living and so on. So, or endure the hardship to help people, like those helping others when they have to work very hard to help others. Now, the third one is paramata. So we willing to give up their life because they believe that out of compassion and also if they are really devoted to their path. For example, we can see the story here. So this is also from another Jataka cell. So that's why today I introduced this book called Jataka. You can read in the internet. There are many stories. I think 500 more. So the great monkey king. So the Bodhisattva was a king of the troop of monkeys living in a forest. When human hunters invaded, the monkeys were trapped. The Bodhisattva stretched his own body across the shams to create a bridge, allowing his entire troop to escape to safety. While the monkeys trampled over him in their panic, his sacrifice saved their lives. So he was making himself as a bridge, holding from with hands at the other side of the branch or the other side of the river, and then the tail on the other side of river. So the monkey was crossing above him over the body. And at that time also say Devadatta was there. He was born as a monkey. So when the Devadatta as a monkey, he crossed over this monkey king. He purposely trampled very hard on this monkey king. Right? So his sacrifice saved their lives. Right? So you can see also in Jataka. Now, so Tipitaka, we have 5 Nikaya. Right? Just I show you all these are 5 Nikaya. Right? So you have like this. So the first one is called, right? So Dika Nikaya. We call it long length. Dika, the word Dika means long. So it's a discourse 32 with very long compared to Majjhima. Majjhima is middle length. So discourse are not so long, quite short, quite middle. Samyutta is arranging to a title, right? So like the title of king, so the title of Deva, right? So Samyutta, you see here. Like for example, Deva. Like Samyutta will occur like Deva or King Kosala, or Samyutta about Bhikkhuni, Samyutta about Brahma, and Yaka, and so on. All right. So yeah, and Samyutta about sixth sense based feeling and so on. So it arranged according topic. That's why I call it connected discourse. And gradual sharing is Anguttara. We have 11. This one. Okay, so there are 11 books in Anguttara. In Pali, we study the Anguttara like Ekam, One Dhamma, and so on. Right. And the final one is called Kuttaka Nikaya. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, not much. So Kuttaka, sometimes we use the word, how you call it? Sometimes we call it minor. So there are different translations. Sometimes we call it minor discourse. Yeah. Actually, even though it look minor, but actually not minor because it itself has 15 books. It's a huge, quite a lot, quite a lot. So if you open any Pali canon, you will find this Kuttaka. So 15 books, like Dhammapada, Itivuttaka, and so on. So it's even the name is Kuttaka actually means small, minor, but actually it's a very small. Maybe we can use the word correction also. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Nikaya, we can use the word correction. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, you have 18 books in Burmese tradition. Okay. Now, so now is another title. Now, we want to know what is Parami. Okay. Now, why is it Parami appear in the Theravada? Because at first, when we read many sutta, it does not mention about the Parami. Then we have to look at the commentary or Charya Pitaka, Basket of Conduct, by Acharya Dhammapala, translated from the Pali by Bhikkhu Bodhi. So what is this Charya Pitaka? So it's also one of the, okay, it also one of the under the Kuttaka Nikaya. All these book we seldom read one. I think most people seldom read. Most of people you only read the Dhammapada book. Okay. And maybe you read some of the Jataka story, like we mentioned just now, some of the Jataka story. And maybe we will read some the story about elder, the bhikkhu, Tera or Terry. But Charya Pitaka, not so much reading. It's a new book, I think. Not a new book, but it's a kind of like not so famous one. Anyway, for the Charya Pitaka, the commentary here, we get to know what is a parami. Okay. It's a long text, but I think we gain lots of knowledge from it. Okay, Brother Michael. Yes. You can read.
A treatise on the Paramis from the commentary to the Charya Pitaka by Acharya Dhammapala, translated from Pali by Bhikkhu Bodhi. The older sutta, however, already mentioned three types of individual who attain to consummate states: Sama Buddha, or a perfectly enlightened Buddha, who realize the goal without the aid of our teachers, and teaches the Dharma to others, founding a dispensation, sasana, a Pachika Buddha, or a solitary enlightened one who achieve realization unaided but does not establish a dispensation, and a disciple Arahant, who realize the goal through the instruction of Supreme Buddha, and then teaches others according to his inclination and capacity. Not a distinct jhana and vehicle or spiritual career leading to its actualizations. Theravada is called Hinayana. Mahayana is the other sect. From the Theravada, the more conservative or Pali ancient schools, the emphasis was always placed on the ideal prescribed in Pali Sutta, the attainment of arahantship by following the instruction of the historical Buddha. The other idea remained in the background, acknowledged but not especially attended to. Other early schools such as Savatisvada and Mahasanghika, while upholding the primacy of the disciples' causes and the Arahant ideas, also gave consideration to other ideas as possible goals for individual inclined to pursue them.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now we go for this. Right. Now, according to older texts, right now, what kind of enlightenment? Three level, right? First one, as we call it, the Sama Sambuddha. Right. Another level is also Pachika Buddha. Then the third one we call it disciple or Arahant. Okay. Sama Sambuddha is like Gautama Buddha. So the current Buddha we call it Sama Sambuddha. Now, Sama means perfectly. Sambuddha means enlightened one. So, Sama Sambuddha, perfectly enlightened one. Compared to Pacheka Buddha, it's different. Now, Sama Sambuddha and Pacheka Buddha, they all are enlightened being. They all are enlightened being. But the difference is, this Sama Sambuddha and Pacheka Buddha, same. They also become a Buddha without a help of teacher. All right, so this is the first criteria. They become enlightened, they gain fully enlightened one, but without help of teacher. Of course, we know the Gautama Buddha, he had two teachers, but that was before he gave out their method. He gave out their method of reaching the 7 and 8 jhana state. There's a very high, the nothingness and neither perception, no perception. So he gave up all their practice. Then he practiced by himself under the Bodhi tree and he became the Buddha. So he literally had no teacher at all. And the first condition as a Sama Sambuddha is this one. All right. So he realized the goal. Number one, we call it here. He realized the goal. And also, second one, he be able to teach to people. Right. So Sama Sambuddha has two this kind of quality. Servant, he received gold and this one. Then he become like this. Now, Pachika Buddha is another type of Buddha. So we call it Pachika means solitary. Solitary, not to say they are lonely, but lonely in a way is that they are somebody also like the number A. Okay, someone like A here, they become enlightened. They gain realization unaided by any teacher, but they cannot teach others the Dhamma. That's why they cannot establish the disposition. So they just enlightened by themselves. Then they have no disciple. They can maybe preach morality and so on, but they cannot teach people. So Pachika Buddha cannot teach people. So they only have the number one only. So they rise the goal unaided by teacher. Right. And by the B. Right. But they number two, okay? But they don't have the number two. So they only have one quality only. Okay, you can see the difference, right? They become enlightened, same, number A, unaided by teacher, right? Unaided by teacher. But Pacheka Buddha cannot teach the Dhamma. They maybe teach you morality, yes. Sometimes the Pacheka Buddha will teach, so the Pacheka Buddha maybe can preach, he can preach morality and so on. But he cannot guide someone to enlightenment. Okay. So it's the difference between the Pacheka Buddha and Sama Sambuddha. Sama Sambuddha can teach, can guide people to enlightenment, right? So Sama Sambuddha can all the way guide people or beings to enlightenment. So that's why for us to meet Sama Sambuddha is very rare. It's not that all the time we got Sama Sambuddha. Sometimes when there's no Buddha, no Sama Sambuddha, in many of the story, there are many Pacheka Buddha, some as much as 500 Pacheka Buddha can appear in the world at the same time. But only Sama Sambuddha appear alone at one time. Okay? Well, clear about this? You? Okay, clear, all right. Now, the disciple of Sama Sambuddha is called Arahant. All right. So he must follow the instruction of the Supreme Buddha. Then after that, he can teach according to his own inclination. Like Sariputra is a disciple of Gautama Buddha. Then he preached to his disciple. But even though the disciple of Sariputra is the disciple of Sariputra, but still the goal, the instruction is still coming from Sama Sambuddha, not the Pacheka Buddha, right? Because Pacheka Buddha cannot guide people to enlightenment. So we have we call it 3 level of enlightenment. So Sama Sambuddha, Pacheka Buddha, and Arahant. So 3 level enlightenment. That's why if you want to fulfill the Sama Sambuddha, if you want to be Sama Sambuddha, you need to fulfill all these 30 parami. So okay, so to be yeah. Okay, to be Sama Sambuddha. Okay, one needs to fulfill 10 paramis in 3 levels. So total is 30 parami. Right? So not just first level. So every time to be a Sama Sambuddha, he need to fulfill parami, upa parami, and paramata parami. All the way until many times the Bodhisattva fulfill his parami, even give out his life, sacrifice his whole life. Like we know the final life, he was a Visantara prince. He gave out his even gave out his children, his wife, and so on. And many times, like when he was a monkey king, he need to give out, sacrifice his life, right? As a monkey king. All right. So we go back to that one. Now, okay, now on the yana, all right. So normally Theravada is called we call it Hinayana, but Hinayana is a not good terms. Mahayana is a this one. Now Hina is we call it inferior or low. Inferior, right? Yana is vehicle. Mahayana is like great or big vehicle. Because the idea of Mahayana is they want to take care of more people, help more people. So that's why they call it Mahayana. So Theravada is called inferior because Theravada is the idea of only if we follow the Buddha, follow the historical Buddha, Theravada aim towards the arahantship. Just want to be enlightened first. That's why sometimes compared to we call it popularity lah. People prefer to go for Mahayana temple because it's more lively. Theravada temple is very solemn. Everybody want to be enlightened, get out of samsara, right? So it's much more rigid. If you go to Theravada temple, it's much more rigid, uh, more so stiff. And but other school like this, yes, they also accept disciple arahant, but they actually think more about bodhisattva. So a lot of Mahayana is follow Mahayana actually coming from this Mahasangika. Right? Mahayana coming from Mahasangika. So they are more inclined towards the bodhisattva path. Right? So anyway, this is I get from this commentary. So all this commentary is written for quite a long time. Okay. So this commentary is written by Shin Dhammapala commentary. How many years ago? Huh? Okay. Sixth century CE, right? Quite long ago, right? So it's about 1,000. Now it's 2,000 years. 200. Okay, 1,400 years ago. So 6th century. Right. So actually, it's good to read from all these very old texts. Okay, now we go for this. There's some more here. Okay. Okay, Vira oil. Yes.
Saiji, you call me, is it?
Yes. I call you.
Yeah. Where is it?
Here. In this way.
Oh, okay. Sorry. In this way, the figure of the Bodhisattva, the aspirants to Buddhahood, came to claim an increasingly prominent place in the popular Buddhist religious life. The culmination of these innovations was the appearance in about the 1st century BC of the Mahayana, the styled great vehicle, which proclaimed that of the 3 vehicles to enlightenment, the Bodhisattva vehicle was alone ultimate, the other 2 being only expedients devised by the Buddha to lead his less competent disciples to perfect Buddhahood, which they held to be the only valid spiritual ideal. Continue, Saiji.
Yes.
Through its conservative bent and relative insulation from the other schools, the Theravadas managed to resist the metamorphic changes taking place elsewhere in the Buddhist world, preserving the teachings as compiled at the early councils without radical alteration of their doctrinal framework. Nevertheless, in this school as well, from a period even preceding the rise of the Mahayana, the figure of the Bodhisattva began to make inroads into both its literature and spiritual atmosphere. Two elements in the early teaching seems to have provided the germs for this development. One
Okay,
was
thank
the thank you,
okay,
Saidi.
thank you. All right. So what you say that first Theravada is more towards the arahantship, right? According to the Buddha's teaching. So then we have other school. So other school with different things. Other school will be Shawastika Wada and Mahasangika, right? So then they have different idea. All right. Now we in the first century Mahayana, so we great vehicle, right? So what the idea is that for less competent people, less competent disciples, so the Buddha only say for them to be practiced as arahant, right? But other people, if possible, they can be a Buddha to be. But Theravada still preserve the teaching in the very early first century and so on, and also earlier council. So, but still we have the Bodhisattva idea already. Okay, so we can see the idea of Bodhisattva where it coming from. So this is quite interesting, right? So where is that? Not to say in Mahayana also got Bodhisattva. Even in Theravada we also got the Bodhisattva. Okay. Sumita Chong, yeah, Malacca. Yes.
One was the fact that the Buddha had used the word bodhisattva to refer to himself in the period preceding his enlightenment, pushing its scope as far back as his existence in the Tusita heaven before his final descent to earth. The second was the recognition of the multiplicity of Buddhas, which showed the Sakya Gautama to be not a unique figure in the cosmic genealogy, but only the most recent member of a series of Buddhas, each of whom attains enlightenment, found a dispensation, and liberates a multitude of beings from the bondage of samsaric suffering. The Nigga Nikaya mentions by name the six most recent predecessors of the Buddha Gautama, and predicts as well the advent of Maitreya, the Buddha of the future, who will rekindle the lamp of the true Dhamma after it is extinguished in the dark ages that lie ahead. Theravada, the dominant attitude prevailed among the exponents of the school that this path was reserved only for the very rare and exceptional individual.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now, the word bodhisattva, the Buddha also referred to the period of many times, right, in his past practice until he go to Tushita heaven. Then after that, from Tushita heaven, he come to the earth. So, and also in Theravada, we also talk about many Buddhas, not only Gautama Buddha. So in previous Buddha and future Buddha with the Maitreya Buddha. So Maitreya Buddha will happen when the current teaching of the Buddha extinguish. So we call it the dark ages. So after dark ages, then the next Buddha will come in. There's a Maitreya, right? But however, we say Bodhisattva is not for everybody, right? It's only for very, very rare special person that they can be Bodhisattva. So in Theravada opinion, Bodhisattva is very rare. Not everybody can be Bodhisattva. It's different from the idea of Mahayana. We say in Mahayana, people say people have the potential to be a Buddhahood. Okay, so we stop here. It's a lot of things. So we can continue next week. Any questions? We share the merits. Okay, maybe you all go back and read some more. Yes?
Sorry,
You want to say more?
sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
My question is why Bajika Buddhas can't teach others to attain enlightenment? Because he don't have Mahakaruna or not enough paramis or some another reason.
Okay. I think the reason they say Pachika Buddha, the Sammasambuddha, he fulfilled the three level, the Parami, Upaparami, and Paramata Parami for the Sammasambuddha. Pachika Buddha did not fulfill the three level. What I remember is they only fulfill the two level, not the three. So that's why he cannot have the enough perfection to he can enlighten himself, but he cannot be able to preach to others. Okay, not to say because he had not enough compassion. All right,
Yeah,
because
thank you,
the
sir.
level like for Arahan only first level. Arahan just need to fulfill the normal parami. No need to be upa parami or paramata parami. Yes, Sumita.
Yeah, Saji, I think now the Dhamma school teachers can explain to the Dhamma school children about the Jataka tales. They say, how come teacher the animals can talk? So can we support by saying that mystical celestial beings they have the body of the human head, so can talk ma?
The animals can talk in the Jataka story because maybe it happened in the past. That's one thing. Maybe because another way is the animals actually they communicate with each other, like dog to dog, cat to cat, even like they call. But maybe we don't interpret as a human talking now. The way they talk is by their animals way talk. All right, but it's okay to believe that the animals can talk. Why not? Because we are just limited by our own imagination, right? So if we just put aside our own thinking, is everything is quite possible. All right. I think the text is limited is quite a lot, so we will continue to read next week. So you all can read again. It's good to read about Parami and also read about the Noble Eightfold Path again. Okay, so we just short sharing the merits. So this one we chant already. So next week we chant again the Parami. Okay, so just a short sharing of merits with all the beings and all the relatives who pass away. Okay, iman no punya bagam sapa satanam dema. Iman no punya bagam sapa satanam dema. Iman no punya bagam sapa satanam dema. Idam no yatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam no yatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam no yatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. We share memories with the devas. Akasata chabumata dewa naga mahetika. Punyantam anumotitva chirarakantu bhuta sasanam. Akasata cha bummata devanaga mahitika. Punyantam anumotitva chirarakantu desanam. Akasata cha bummata devanaga mahitika. Punyantam anumotitva chirarakantu mamparamti. Okay. Buddha sasanam chiram tiktatu. Buddha sasanam chiram tiktatu. Buddha sasanam chiram tiktatu. Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right, so you all can read again, and if any question, we come and discuss next week. So today's class is very important. It's a fundamental of the teaching of the Buddha. Okay.
Thank you,